Good morning, good morning. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. And today is Wednesday, March the 12th, 2025. What a time to be alive. And as the title says, change is not only imminent, it's necessary. And you know what has really inspired today's message is this. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people, with what's going on in the world today with a lot of cuts to the federal employees, a lot of people in the federal government are losing their jobs, and any you know anytime someone loses their job, I'm never a fan of that. I would never champion that, but change is not only imminent but necessary. And there's multiple different ways to look at this. On a personal note, people getting cut from federal positions is sad. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sympathetic and empathetic to that. So yeah, but it's not over. And I don't care who's in office. You could point the finger at the president. You could point the finger at the economy. You could point the finger at all the above. You know, But one thing that we need, regardless of who's in office or whatever the case is, God is in control. And I know throughout my lifetime, even though it's been hard at times, it's been blessed, blessing through it all. You know what I'm saying? Because He's never let me down. Whenever I put my faith in God and do put the work in as well. But on a more global scale, when you look at it, you know, it's necessary because you got a lot of people that are getting paid at these positions in the federal government that our tax dollars pay for that don't really have, that they're not necessary positions. And what the Trump administration is saying is he's running this like a business. In any business, when they go in and they have to cut spending because we're so many trillions of dollars in debt, one of the most expensive expenses is, their workforce. So when a company goes in, and I'm using the country as an example of a corporation or a company, when the CEO says, okay, we have to downsize our monthly expenditures, the first thing that they're going to look at is, okay, we got to cut workers, and it's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. And from my understanding, these people are getting opportunity to get a severance package that includes 8 months of pay and, full benefits. Now, if they're on a probationary, I think within the federal government, if you're a probationary, you're under a year. So it was never really, I've worked at positions where it's probationary. So it's not guaranteed anyway. So whatever happens with the government or whatever, whatever happens with the economy, you're subject to be the first to be released if anything happens. So going into this, when you sign on the dotted line, that if you not in that year and got hired on full time, you could be let go at any time. So, you just gotta take that pray on it, you know, and put the work in, and you will find something even better for you. Trust me, I know, you know. And, like I said, what the Trump administration is doing is cutting wasteful spending, fraud, and abuse. Now, it was going to sting, he said it, it's going to sting in the beginning stages. But change is not only imminent, but it's necessary for the country to bounce back and get to a place where we're um, having an abundance of opportunities for generations to come. He has to come in and flip this thing back on his feet. Right now, the economy is sitting on his head. So he has to flip everything over, and eventually you'll see the benefits of what they're implementing to right now. I would give it about a year and a half before it starts to really take effect. But they're moving really fast. And for the federal employees that are losing their jobs or getting their severance, 8 months with full benefits, hey, you know, that's a good deal. You should be able to sustain your life and pray on it and find something else. But you know, you gotta be one that's not afraid of change. Like in um my personal experiences, back in my mid 20s coming home and trying to get back into society, I went through that. You know what I'm saying? I went through still going through, like went through trying to I went and got a degree. Came home, got a degree, you know, um, an associate's degree. Got hired on, you know, excited. I'm about to start a career. Hired on, let's get it. And uh get the interview. Hey, you can start right now. Man, I wasn't in, and I put on my application and everything, but this was so like, it could have broke me at this point if I didn't know that, you know, God is in control. But doing all that and go and start working, I'm probably worked about a couple hours into my first work shift for the manager, a black man, pulled me in the office. Man, listen, brother, I know I told you was good. You told me what was on your application. And man, I thought it was great, but I gotta let you go, man. I just got a call from, you know, upper management that said I gotta let you go. I'm so sorry. And I knew at that moment that dang, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get back out here and try to figure something else out. But I shook that man's hand. I said, you know what? I know it ain't your call, but I appreciate the opportunity, you know. And at the time, I was a lot younger, so I could have been like, man, I'm finna, go back to doing this or doing that or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't get discouraged. I just pivoted, you know what I'm saying? And I went through temp agencies, worked different little jobs, temp jobs, like that probational period we talking about. But see, I worked at steel mills, through the temp agency, plastic companies, just trying to find my way. Hey, sometimes the little job, it lasts for 3 months. Sometimes it lasts for 6 months. And then they let you go. But eventually, I went through a temp agency, got hired on full time. But you got to keep pushing, and then when you got a felony on your back, man, it's it's that much harder. So I know I get it, but tried different positions, worked there for a while, went to another, uh, now went to another company. Now I got some experience, in steel mill work, package handling at a steel mill. I remember I went to one steel mill. I was working that. Okay, now I'm about to make a little bit more money. I could go and apply because I got some experience. They hired me, promoted me to, from a regular package handler to, now I'm the operator. Now somebody up under me. Now and we pushing out our productivity was through the roof. Best out of all three shifts. At second shift, we knocking it out. And then, all of a sudden, I'm like, well, y'all promoted me. I got way more experience. Why am y'all not increasing my pay? I'm looking at other people, they getting, promotions. I'm looking at other people, they getting their money. Why I ain't getting my money? So I started, going in, and they giving me different excuses, but they still not demoting me, but they just not upping my pay. So we started a petition because other people felt like they was in the same boat. And when we started this petition, it was a discrimination claim. The discrimination claim was like, wait a minute. First shift and second shift not getting they just do, but third shift is. And it was racial. Because third shift, they got the time differential. So they was getting paid more. Long story short, they knew I was the one that was organizing it, and they found the reason to fire me. But in the process of that, I knew that change was not only imminent, it was necessary. I took that on the chin, went, got my unemployment because I had been there like a year and a half. So I had, a good enough amount of time under my belt so I could draw unemployment for a while. And at that point, I decided to go back to school and try, get some more training up under my belt. That lasted for a little while until, I just decided to go back to work. And in that process, I had a child. And I knew at that point I wasn't making enough money. And I was paying for school tuition, paying child support. And I just wasn't making it. I'm off papers, but I'm still like not making enough with my overhead. But I decided to make a big change. Looking at some of my guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop in the truck. So at, a certain age, decided to go on, get in trucking school. So my last few checks, because I knew I wasn't gonna be getting paid for about 2 or 3 months. I planned it out right. Hopped in the truck. Next thing you know, I'm cross country, learning how to truck drive. Been driving ever since. Because I knew at that point I had been through so much of the same thing. Change was not only imminent, It was necessary for survival. So I say this to inspire all the federal employees. It don't matter who in office. It don't matter what policies is being set forth. It don't matter what's going on. One thing is subject to change is one thing that's not subject to change. The only thing that's not subject to change is God. Through it all, through all the stuff I just broke down on a personal note, God was always there and still here. Pray on it and keep pushing and keep working. You know what I'm saying? And you go figure it out. And even now it's a struggle because with this economy, I done had to pivot and figure things out. Man, it was one time I would say that about 4 or 5 years ago, man, it was a gold man driving the truck. Right now, man, shoot, it is crazy. But I know, even with that, got to find some side hustles. Got to, got to figure we got to move some things around. Got to change some things up. And you're going to be all right. Because change is not only imminent, but it's necessary. Now, in conclusion, with my message today, it's like this, man. I knew a few people that decided that they wanted to, stay stagnated and didn't want to pivot, didn't want to change. Instead of changing with the times or readjusting, they chose to, hey, I'm a double down on what I want to do, even though I know I need to be pivoting. I'm gonna keep pointing the finger. It's everybody's fault but mine. It's everybody's fault. I don't have no fault. I don't have no accountability. That with that mindset, you already defeated. Because at some point we got to point the finger at ourselves. Had I never been in that situation when I was in, trying to figure it out, I put myself there. So I had to put myself accountable for even, wasting my time doing something stupid to even be in that position where I have to readjust. So now I'm behind the 8 ball. And the same people that adopted that victimhood mentality, a lot of them winded right back in that place, man, in that same predicament. Now imagine if I had that defeatist mindset, all the stuff I just told you, I would have never experienced it to be able to tell you. I would have went right back. Like, man, I went to school, took up this trade, got this degree, and they gonna fire me because of something in my past. Man, I'm back out here. You know what I'm saying? Doing something stupid that'll put me right back in that place because I didn't want to change. Not knowing that change is not only imminent, it's necessary. Well, that's my message for right now. Hope you enjoyed allowing you a little bit more insight into what I had going on. But man, peace and blessings, man. Voices for the voiceless. It's your boy Jay Taylor. We love y'all. Stay prayed up above all. Put the work in, because faith without works is dead. So, God got our back, but we got to be willing to put the work in to match our faith. But yep, voices for the voiceless. We love y'all. Peace and blessings. Until then, we'll talk to you soon. All right, love.